In this movie, what we're going to do is start to work on the eye makeup. And all I want to do is clean it up a little bit, so I'm going to zoom in a touch. I'll create a new layer by pressing Shift-Command-N on a Mac, Shift-Control-N on a PC. We'll name this layer Makeup. Next, we'll press the B key to select our brush tool. We're going to hover over our image. Hold down the Option key on a Mac, Alt key on a PC, and we're going to sample these colors in the makeup here. We're going to try to get one that's nice and bright. Next, we're going to take our blend mode to color. Now that we have this color blend mode, what we can do is actually paint over this area. We can see the texture underneath that, and it's not going to be the exact same color, but we can modify this color if we need to. If it's too bright or too dark, we can change it. How can we do that? Well, simple as apply an adjustment to this layer. For example, press Command-U on a Mac, Control-U on a PC, and I can change it. There you can see the color I'm bringing in. Or for that matter, I can press Command-M on a Mac, Control-M on a PC, and here I can change the overall density of that. And we can modify it, again, in a number of different ways. If we take this to a blend mode of normal, there we can see the color that I'm bringing in. All right, that doesn't look very good, obviously, but the color blend mode really helps us out. Now, I can also fill in little gaps, too. If I want to add a little bit of makeup here, we can see how we're starting to bring that in. Let's say that what I want to do is fill in a little bit and brighten up all this makeup underneath here. I'm going to go ahead and paint under the eye. So I have this nice, bright, vivid color. And just make my way through this portion of the photograph. And then as I get to the other edge over here, one of the things I'm going to try to do is create a little bit of a better taper off over there. And sometimes what happens is when you create things like this, it may not look perfect the first time, so it may take a couple tries, but we'll go ahead and give it a shot. I'm just going to go ahead and bring this over. Again, just trying to add a little bit of a detail there, make my brush a little bit smaller. And then I'll click and then shift-click to try to have a nice straight point there. Let's see, click right there, shift-click right there. Just a nice straight little ending point there. All right, well, so far so good. We're just fixing this makeup, filling in some of the gaps and enhancing it. I'm just going to make my way through these edges in order to improve this one. And just to clean up those edges just a touch there. All this little detail stuff will help out. Make my brush a little bit bigger, a little bit more fluid. All right, well, let's zoom out and see how we're doing so far. Here is our overall before and then after. Now in this case, that green is pretty intense. It's pretty bright, perhaps too bright. How could we mute that? Well, the easiest way to do that is to create an adjustment layer. So we click on the adjustment layer icon, go to hue saturation, and I'm going to desaturate this completely. Now that doesn't look good, but I'm doing this to illustrate. What you can do then is you can hold down the Option key on a Mac, Alt key on a PC, and hover over these two layers and then create what's called a layer clipping mask. There we have it, so that this is just affecting the underlying layer. Or, on the other hand, you can simply click on this icon here, which is new in CS4, which allows us to create that layer clipping mask. All right, great. Well, we don't want to desaturate, but what we may want to do is shift the color. So we can shift the color one way or the other. Or maybe we just want to desaturate a bit. We don't want to remove so much color. We just want to have that same feel. And here's our overall before and then our overall after. All right, that matches the color palette a little bit more closely. So it depends how creative you actually want to get with this. But in this case, we've definitely enhanced the makeup, and we're now ready to progress to our next step.